And hello and welcome Sky Tour live stream. This is Marc D'Antonio as always, and I am here tonight with, of course, Daryl Mason. Hi there, Daryl. How's it going?
Hello, Mark. It's going well. You? Hello, everybody.
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Good.
So tonight we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna be poking around in the winter sky and what's left of it, and check out anything that we might be able to see. And like I said, and we've said before, if you're not careful, you might learn something. Hey, it's how it is. I want to say hello to everybody that's been here and got here early. I have to say, Izabela is the one who got here first, and Daisy and Zoe Amethyst are here. Vera Lucia Campos from Brazil, welcome. Nice to see you. And this Daryl guy is here, whoever he is. And Michael Klagus, how are you? Good to see you as well. And you guys are the early birds, You guys are the early birds. This is great. It's good to see you. And we'll have some fun. Renee Cruz is here. Hi, Renee. Good to see you. And so let's see. Donald Kunzer, nice to see you as well. Good to see you. And Dad is here. Hi, Dad. That's kind of a cool name. Dad, what's up? Roni Hassan is with us now. So, hey, let's go have some fun, shall we? We're going to have some fun playing with our system tonight. I have my target up over here only because I don't have any object in there at the moment. And I wanted to make sure you understood that the black screen meant something. I fixed the thing with the camera over here since we last spoke. So now my camera control system is here, telescope control system's right there, and the telescope itself is right here out in the building. And right now what I'm going to do is take us to the star Sirius, which is a simple ride upstairs. So here we're going to go up. You watch the telescope, you're going to see it moving up. You watch the telescope in our planetarium, and this corresponds to that as well. And the telescope is approaching Sirius, and we should be able to see it in the view. It's not quite dark out there, so I like to go to a bright star ahead of time just to see what we have for a night. Check the quality of the star images. I haven't even checked to see if there's any serious wind out there, so that could be a problem, but you never know.
Mark, can I ask a question?
Yes?
Is your stellarium set for Arizona?
Yes, it is. I know it says Levine, but that's actually an area nearby. It is indeed.
Why I ask is it shows Canopus above the horizon for you.
Yes, it does. Should it not be?
I thought you had to be south of about 30 degrees north latitude.
Okay, well, I'm at just 33 where this is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if I could see Canopus, I mean, you said before the show started you wanted to see Canopus in the southern sky.
Yeah, but I remember seeing it in Stellarium here. I can't see it now with our system because we can't get that high because it never gets high enough above the ground.
I understand.
Yeah, but that's okay.
Okay, well, carry on.
That's right. Hey, Genghis, how are you? Volkish Fraulein, nice to see you. Greg B, good to see you as well. Thanks for coming out. Almost everyone likes Dad. Dad says, of course, almost everyone. Except the daughter's boyfriend. That's the guy who just doesn't like Dad. All right, let's go.
That makes me think of that truck commercial. I hate that thing.
What's that?
Oh, Dad's taking wife and his daughter, and I guess the daughter's boyfriend, for a ride in this new truck, and he's got cameras all over it, and hey, do you see any funny business going on? No, sir.
That's funny. That's funny. All right, let's go see.
I have another question.
Yes, sir.
MUFON is here. Do we know this person by name?
Where did I see it? I see Laura Newbert here. Hi, Laura. Who's MUFON? Is it just MUFON? Is that just the name?
Yeah, it was. That was the name. MUFON. Mutual UFO Network, MUFON. We love stars.
Oh, I wonder what that. Well, whoever that is, it's probably someone I know. If they're a person that I know, obviously, I mean, they will be a person I know. Most likely, is what I'm getting at. All right, MUFON. Who are you? Which one are you? That's got to be the channel name or the person name on Gmail. So, all right, let's go here. Let's go back to the camera for a second. I'm going to take us from 10 millisecond exposure, which is really, really low, and let's go to 1 second to see if it'll support that yet. Well, maybe once I actually can do it. Thank you for pointing that out, Daryl. I didn't know who what that was.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay. And now let's do this. Okay. So we do have stars, and as you can see, the sky is blue because we have we've still got a few. There's some darkness that still has to occur, and there's Sirius. It was just out of field as I expected, so let's go and pull it in slower. So Sirius is sort of like a little waypoint for me. You know, like tonight, for instance, I want to look at it and see if we're going to see any wind. If you look at the telescope, you can see it's sticking up enough so that it can, you know, catch the wind if we're going to get wind. So I'm going to zoom way in and check out whether it's going to be bouncing around or not. That tells us a lot about the quality of night. Last night was beautiful. If you saw the photos up on the server, they are beautiful. They came out nice. I haven't even focused tonight yet. As you can see, the stars are out of focus. But I'm also noticing that we're not getting any wind, which is good. Yes, Sirius is a seriously bright star. You're absolutely right. Dad said that.
We're not even half hour in and you're punning already.
No, Dad did. All right, I'm gonna set the. You see that?
I get it. Never mind. I'm slow tonight. I'm slow every night.
No, only on nights when you shouldn't be.
I guess.
All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna come back down here, and we're gonna do our autofocus routine, guys. It's one that I added to the system, and it gives us, you know, crystal sharp, clear focus. Crystal clear focus. So what I'll do is I'm going into our focus assistant, and we're going to pick the multi-star full width half maximum measurement. And what that is it looks at the peak of the starlight, okay? And the stars it selects are those inside those yellow boxes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell it to scan inward, okay? And now it's going to start shifting the focus, and it's going to build a model. And that model is, okay, you can see up there it says 2 of 12 waiting for more samples. And what it does is it's going to build a graph, basically. And that graph is going to end up looking like a curve. At the bottom of the curve, that's the sharpest focused position. So you can see here those triangles are going up, up, up. And they're going to end up going down and then back up, because it's going to find the focus position and then keep going. And it's going to center on the spot that is the perfect focal point. Hey, Dagger, thank you. All right.
Is your telescope cooled to ambient yet?
It is at -10. You can see right here the temperature.
No, not the camera necessarily, the telescope itself.
Oh, I've had it open for about 30 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. So here you can see.
Catch up.
Yeah, it will. So here you can see this is the current position that the focuser is. It started way out here, went down to what it thought was perfect, and then kept going so that it can build a curve and find the central point. Right? So that's what it did, and we're on the final one, and then it's going to give us a green bar right there. And now you can see the curve. See that curve? That, the bottom, where this line is the perfect focus point. But it stays at the outside. So what I'm going to say is go to that position, and it's going to go all the way across and back to that position. And there we go. All right, so off it goes. It goes all the way to the other position and then back to that middle position. And now you'll see the stars take on a brilliant point-like appearance, because that's what we've done. We've made these things perfect points. All right, and to show that, all we have to do is zoom in to 100%, and you'll see that the stars are tiny little points. Look at that. All right, and of course the full width half maximum algorithm is still operational, and I can run it at any time. But when I go like this and get rid of it, then we can just run it again. All right, so we are perfectly focused. Look at how tiny the stars are, the ones that we can see. These were previously invisible to us. We couldn't focus that well, and we had not focused that well. So that's pretty good. And this right here, this number that you see over there on the right, that I'm with my arrow at 47,911. I have like tens of thousands of steps in the focuser, so I can go in and out by tens of thousands of steps. And you can imagine that 47,912 and 47,911 are not that much different. But to the algorithm, it is different. And so it's actually taken and sharply focused our system. So I think that's a very, very welcome addition to the system, I can tell you that. All right, so hey
Marc,
there, Judy McClelland is here, and Uberku. What's that?
I hate to be a pest. You do sound just a shade on the hot side.
All right, well, I can.
Kind of buzzy.
All right, I'm gonna drop it down a little bit.
Just a touch.
No worries. I think that should be good right there. And that's okay. All right, there we go. All right, so now we have Sirius in place. It looks good now. And Genghis says some precision there. Yeah, this is nice precision. So I want to say that I think we're ready to seek out seek out new life and take care of this right now. All right. New civilizations, and boldly go where no one has gone before. I do think we can do this. Spock. Mr. Sulu, Warp Factor 1. Aye, sir.
I read a really good article today about the Star Trek Next Generation episode. The name escapes me, but it's the one where they were stuck in a time loop, and Kelsey Grammer was the captain of the other old Federation starship that they crashed into.
Kelsey Grammer?
Yeah.
Kelsey Grammer was in Star Trek?
Sure he was. You didn't know that? Yeah, it was a really cool article. What was it? Cause and Effect or something was the name.
Wow.
They detected some sort of anomaly, and all of a sudden an older, like Wrath of Khan era Federation starship came out of this cloud, and it was on a collision course, and the Enterprise crashed into it, and they declared all hands abandoned ship, and then the Enterprise blew up. That doesn't ring a bell?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Kelsey Grammer was the captain of the other ship.
Huh.
It was the Bozeman.
Named after Montana. All right, well,
Oh, well.
I guess I didn't know that.
Oh, I bet you did at one time.
I probably did. I bet you're right. I bet you're right.
That was back when he was on Cheers, but the show Frasier hadn't started yet.
Okay. Okay, we're starting to get a blacker sky here, so let's while it's early in the night, let's head over and check out something we did not look at yesterday, and just check out how it looks now that we have this is a good point to do this. Okay. And Michael Klages said earlier that it's galaxy season. He's right. It is. All right, so let's go down to this right here. We're going to go to the Horsehead Nebula and see just how it looks tonight. All right, this will get us there. All right, here we go. So we're doing high precision slewing. That means that we're going to actually use a waypoint star nearby and then get to the object we want. And it'll tell us which one it's going to. It looks like it's going to be Safe down here. So if you look here, you'll see that Safe is going to show up. It's going to center it. There it is. And just for the record, I'm at my gain here is 0. Right? That means that the telescope doesn't use any kind of sensor enhancement whatsoever. There's none. So we're looking at it as if we're looking at it with like just our eyes. Okay. The strange fog you see on the screen, this is due to the fact that the sky isn't fully dark yet. I have it balanced for when the sky is really dark. Okay. Okay, now you don't see the Horsehead, but it's in there. Okay, because this star here is Alnitak, which is the leftmost star in Orion's belt. This star is Sigma Orionis, which, as I and Daryl have also talked about in the past, is a star that has minimum of 4, maximum possibly of 6 components to it. So essentially, it's like a little cluster. So if you look at the telescope, you can see that it's not too far over to the west, but it's not quite dark enough to actually do any kind of good imaging, I don't think, but we're going to try it just to see what happens. Right, so let's do this. Let's change our exposure from 1 second to, let's just do 35 seconds. All right, and we'll stack that, and we'll get out of this and do a stack, and let's see what we get. I adjusted the guider tonight to see if we could actually get a good guiding setup, and I think we may have it. So we're gonna work on that. Okay, so this bar over here shows us the progress. You see it moving across the bottom, and when it finishes, we will be ready, and we'll be able to see how it looks. Okay, the stars look good, and now what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick process to pull out the data, the detail, and do a color process to shift the colors into the right part of the spectrum. And there we go. And this is with 0 gain. So in other words, this is kind of what you'd see with your eye with the telescope. Right. So that's pretty cool. So now, at 35 seconds, the stars look pinpoints, which is good. We're going to get rid of this stack, and then we're going to come back into our camera, and we're going to change this from 35 seconds to 65 seconds. It's not even fully dark yet, which is kind of cool. And then down here, we're going to change the gain and bring the gain up to about 300. And that's going to give us a good setup here. It's 321. I'll change it to 300. That should do it. There we go. All right, and then the stack. And as long as I get in here with the stack before it actually reads that out, we should be good. Because what's happening is it's building all this stuff up on the sensor. All this light is coming in for 65 seconds. But it's not going anywhere. It's staying on that sensor until we actually read it out. And it reads it out 1 row at a time, okay, and then displays it. But it happens so fast that it looks instantaneous. All right. So we're going to find out what we got here. All right, so this is a 1-minute shot. And this will tell me if I have to adjust any of the guider settings. Okay, that's not to fear, because I just have to bring down Okay. And it looks like the guider settings are good. I just have to color balance. Boom. Alright. Not bad for a sky that's not dark.
Yeah.
Not bad. And this right here is not even really active, so it's neutral. Alright, so what I could do, it's as if the moon is out. That's what the picture looks like. This is how it would look if the moon was out. Okay, let's move our black level, this leftmost one, over a little, darken the background. It's a little noisy because of the stray light. Okay. Okay, now here comes the second one. Watch the noise get lower. That's pretty dramatic. All right, so I'm gonna have it redo that. Just not redo as in get rid of it, but just do this. And we're just trying this while it's still light out. I mean, I was imaging Sirius last night before I started with you guys, and it was a blue sky, and I was catching Sirius. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. You should try catching planets
Venus
in the daytime.
Yeah. I was thinking about Venus.
Yeah, Venus, Jupiter.
Yeah.
You might be surprised how much detail you could catch.
Yeah. Donald Kunzer says that the episode was cause and effect, which is what you were kind of saying there, Duro.
Yeah.
Producers tried to get Kirstie Alley to reprise her role as Savick, as Kelsey Grammer's first officer, but her shooting schedule prevented that. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Huh. You know, when Kirstie Alley was on Star Trek, on the Wrath of Khan, in fact, I don't think they ever made it clear in the movie, but in the novelization, she was actually half Romulan.
Really?
She wasn't 100% Vulcan. She had a terrible temper.
Oh, I always knew she had a temper.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. All right, I'm going to change this rate here from 14 to 15. And that should cover this slight elongation. All right, that should do it. All right, so what I'm going to do is, since it's not clear, since it's not, since we're not worried about these images, and I'm not going to save them since it's not dark out, we're going to see if this one's going to be a better version. Let's see if those stars are not elongated but perfectly round now. And if they are, then it means that we're doing the right thing. Yeah. And I got my water.
Got my green tea.
You got your green tea. I have my Thai tea upstairs, but I'm not going to start pumping in that because that's got some caffeine.
What is it?
Thai tea, Thai. It's a Thai iced tea.
Okay.
Uberku says there are a lot of cameos throughout the Star Trek franchise. Yeah, absolutely, you're right, and they're actually pretty cool. I've seen some cameos of people that you recognize. Okay.
Stephen Hawking was.
Yeah, that's right. And I don't remember. Okay, this.
I think that was the yesterday's Enterprise episode. It opened. Data was playing poker with Albert Einstein and
yes.
Stephen Hawking.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
And Stephen Hawking's robot arm laid down a flush or something.
He laughed, right? They had a little. They had his voice laugh like ha ha ha.
I think he did. Yeah.
That's funny. Okay, I'm gonna adjust this again. I'm gonna try going the other way. Just in case I was going too far in the other way. Alright, I'm gonna do this again. Set the decorate, and I'm gonna make it instead of 15. Let's go to 12. Okay, and try that. And then we're gonna clear this and see if it by reducing it. You know, it's either going too much or not enough. So this is going to tell us. It's very close, though. There's an automatic routine that figures that out, but I don't like how it works. And by doing it manually, I've found I get superior results. Yes, and that's right, Michael Kligas. Everything you're seeing, it's mostly hydrogen alpha in this view. Okay. Okay, it looks like these stars look better. Not quite what I want to see, but not bad. I'm going to move them a little bit because I'm going to clear this here in a second. We're going to set this declination rate again. Set the deck rate, and we're going to take it down to 11. Okay. And then we're going to clear this here, and when it comes back, we should see the result of that. You're actually watching, I'm doing the calibration stuff that typically I do before I even start up, but I figured why not? I'll show you guys how we do it. I'm calibrating the amount that the telescope tries to correct for the motion of the stars. Alright, let's see here. Let's see how this looks. Oh, I got caught in the middle of an exposure there. Look, we got barbell stars. Hey. That happened before so I have to... This might be the right setting, though, so I'm going to clear this. And we'll wait for this next exposure to come in, and we'll know if we're ready to go to town. We're still waiting for it to get fully dark, by the way, so nothing ventured, nothing gained, nothing lost, nothing missed. Izabela watches Star Trek on BBC America. That's cool.
Yeah, that's where I see it. It's on here Monday through Friday, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and you gave up on Star Trek Voyager. I know a lot of people did. I said I'm going to go back and give it a chance. I didn't like the Janeway character. I didn't.
Big reason I quit.
Yeah, she had a raspy voice. And it always sounded to me like she was going to say, "Mr. Tuvok, bring me my cigarettes." You know, and it's just like... I didn't like her voice.
Yeah. As far as the character goes...
we'll run with this.
You know, the way it boiled out, she made Admiral before Picard ever did, if he ever did.
Yeah.
And I didn't quite see the idea behind that.
I have no idea.
Women's rights,
idea.
I guess.
I don't know.
And
it's getting darker.
I tried to get into Deep Space Nine. I just couldn't. I thought it was like Grand Hotel in outer space, and it seemed like it didn't know where it was going for the first season or two. Yeah. I guess it actually got really good, but I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah, it got good.
I think I would have enjoyed Cisco as a character.
He was really quite a good character, actually.
Yeah.
Yep. But you know, they always take it that one step beyond that. You know, starts the show jumping the shark, And that's, for instance, when Cisco's kid is on there, and then when he becomes like a story in and of itself, and that I didn't feel that was good. Look at this.
They did the same thing with Warp and his kid too. Alexander,
that's right.
Whatever his name was.
Yeah, I know.
That kid just annoyed the heck out of me.
Yeah, I didn't like that. Okay.
But then, if you go all the way back to the original Battlestar Galactica, when Jane Seymour was on there, she got killed, but she had that really annoying little boy named Boxy.
Boxy, and he had a Daggett, which was like a monkey in a dog suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like that. Especially when it's X as intelligent as a human. Not good. Okay, we're still working on a dark sky here.
And what was the name of the critter in Buck Rogers?
Tweaky. Beady. Howdy, Buck.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
In spades.
Yeah. You know what though? What's funny is there was a spaceship in that show called the Draconia, and I restored it for the studio, the collector, whoever owned it. Actually, no, it's for a private guy who owned it, and a great guy, and we did a really nice job in restoring it. Okay, it was a guy, Ed, and myself. Ed did a lot of the work too, and my friend Tom did it. My friend Matt worked on it, and we restored it to its movie quality condition. And the guy that played Buck Rogers was Gil Gerard, and the woman that played Wilma Deering was Erin Gray.
Yes.
And I was having dinner here one night when a phone call comes in, and it's Gil Gerard, and he says, "Marc?" I go, "Yes, this is Gil Gerard." "Whoa, hey, what's going on? Why are you calling me?" He says, "I found out that you did a phenomenal job on the Draconia, and I just had to tell you that we all thought that was one of the coolest ships we saw on the set, and we loved it." I was like, "No kidding." He goes, "Yeah, wow." So I went back to dinner, and before I finished dinner, the phone rings again, and it's Erin Gray, and who says,
"Wow,
I heard from Gil that you did the Draconia restoration. Well, that's so cool." I go, "Yeah, it's so nice to talk to you, Erin and Gil and so forth." And they said, I talked to Gil, and we're going to send you some pictures. I went, "Oh, very cool, thank you." So they sent me some signed and autographed photos of them.
Super.
Yeah. It was in a Comic-Con where they were in Colorado, actually. And so they were at the Comic-Con, and somebody there said, "Did you see the restoration job that FX Models did on the Draconia?" "No." And that's how the whole conversation started. It's really cool. So they're really nice people, and to not be
the
Draconia.
Was that the bad girls?
Yes.
Spacecraft?
Yes.
Yeah, the one who said, "I want Buck Rogers."
Yes. Yeah. And if I don't get him, I'll cry.
She was hot.
Operative word was. Okay. So this is looking really nice. If you notice in the nebula here, you can see some beautiful detail in here. This is really nice. I want to try and bring this out a little bit. Okay.
Interesting coloration.
Well, we can actually change that.
No, I like it.
Oh, too late.
As it was mentioned earlier, when it was really red.
I'll pull it back a bit.
Hey, it is hydrogen alpha.
Yeah. It is. All right, so you can't pull it back too far because then that gets in the way. But this is a really pretty shot. This shows the extent down that wall right there, and there's that little extra thing. This is like what the Horsehead Nebula might look like too, from another position. Like if there was a planet to the left of this, farther away, like Earth, maybe this is sticking out, and then this would be around the corner for them because this is a gigantic wall.
It'd be a shame not to be able to have a view like that. I imagine that must be so radioactive there with all the hot stars. It'd probably sterilize everything.
Yeah, the Alnitak being an O star is extremely, as you said, most of its radiation is being given off in the ultraviolet, and Sigma Orionis similar but not as intense. And these two stars are pretty much sterilizing everything here for the time being. But keep in mind, these two stars are going to go away someday. Alnitak will be first. Alnitak is going to go off in a big supernova. And then I'm not sure about Sigma Orionis, what its status might be. Neutron star or a black hole. Now, I don't think Alnitak is going to be a black hole. I think Alnitak is going to be a neutron star. So Sigma will be a neutron star.
Maybe 5 or 6 neutron stars.
Maybe so. James Dugan, how you doing? Good day, James. How's it going down there? He's in Australia. Yeah. You know, the Picard, I like the show Picard. You know, the new Picard series is interesting, but Patrick Stewart is older, and he has a problem speaking. And when he talks, you hear him going, instead of saying, get off my ship, Q, it's more like, get off my ship, Q. You know, he's slower and he's mumbling a little bit. So he's having trouble talking. And it's clear. So they had to write the script for an older guy that can't really do much anymore. He's not a warrior. He's a past warrior now. I mean, and so that makes sense.
I have never seen Picard because, well, it's against principles to pay for a streaming service for me. And I had my doubts at first. I've heard some good things about the show Picard.
Yeah.
As far as Q goes, you know, I know they brought him onto Picard too. And,
yeah, they did an interesting thing with him.
Yeah, John Delancey, the actor who played Q. What really surprised me was years ago on Breaking Bad. I didn't know that he was on that. He played the father of the girl Jane, who was shacking up with.
I never saw the show.
What's his face? And she died of a heroin overdose, and he was an air traffic controller, and he was grieving, and he couldn't do his job, and he was trying to, and he caused a mid-air crash.
Wow.
And I saw that on YouTube. I was stunned when I saw it. I was, God, that's Q.
Yeah. You know what? The thing that's interesting about John Delancey is, if you remember, he's a member of the Q continuum, which means he doesn't age. So when he first appeared in the Picard show, he was the same exact look as back when Next Gen was on. You know, dark hair, no beard, okay? And he was there, you know, talking to Patrick Stewart, who is now old. And Patrick Stewart said something derogatory, and then Q said something like, oh, maybe this will suit you better, Picard. And he snaps his finger, and now he's old with gray hair and a beard. So that's the clever segue into, you know, why he looks older, because he made himself look older for Patrick Stewart, just to, you know, kind of dig a little bit. Yeah.
Data looks old too, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, Brent Spiner's like a lot older.
Well, yeah, you know, but he's an android. He's not supposed to age at all.
I know. Yeah. But they do a good job.
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
I used to be so pretty.
Okay, let's see what's going on. Some people saying things in the chat here. Vera says, Izabela and Marc have similar imagination. When Izabela says Alnitak will swallow the Horsehead, actually, I don't. The Horsehead is a number of light years from Alnitak, so that won't happen. But when Alnitak does explode and goes supernova, it could affect the Horsehead over time. you'll see an expanding cloud of debris. It'll take many, 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 many years to get to this location and expand slowly. And successive generations here will see it and say, oh, look, that's the supernova location. And they'll try to guess when it occurred, and all that.
Oh, I would imagine might actually see quite a light show there, light echoes on the wavefront passing by and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
That really might make quite a sight in the future.
Yeah. What Daryl means by light echoes is if, let's say the star explodes right here, right? Well, when it explodes, the light from that star is going to go outward, right? It's going to move out. Well, as it does, you might see it temporarily brightening some of the dark nebula here. You might see it shine on these dark particles, and they will reflect some light. And it'll do the same as it expands outward. And that's called a light echo. And we've seen that before with supernovae, and it's actually really impressive looking.
Supernova 1987A did it. That weird, I think it's really ugly, but that star and nebula, V838 Monocerotis, I think it is.
Yeah.
They have taken many images of light echoes from it.
Okay.
You can see the wavefront progress over time.
Yeah. Let's get in close here.
Donald Kunzer, do you remember where Brent Spiner got his start before Data?
Was it Second City Television?
First thing I saw him in, he was in Night Court.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
With Harry Dean Anderson, or what's his name?
Harry Anderson. Yeah.
And he played Hillbilly.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Now, guys, here's how we know it's a good night. Here's a close-up of the Horsehead. You can see the various different bright patches in the Horsehead, which are really there. But right here in the horse's mane, you can see a tiny little star. Oh. That's something that tells you right there that the night is good. Because seeing that star, which is really hard to see, is an indicator that we have a good night. And we do. It looks really pretty. Very nice. I like it very much. Very nice indeed. Look at that. I'm amazed at how this system supports zooming like this. This is 100%. So what this means is we have the sensor. This is the native size of the sensor right here. Okay, I've said this before. When we actually look at this zoom dialog up here, okay, and we come up top here and say auto, then it tries to take the entire sensor and fit it in the screen, which is what it's doing here. Okay, but that's kind of a false view because we're looking at a view of the sky, a view of this sensor compressed on our screen to fit in the screen, and that's not how we want to see it. We want to see it like the way it's supposed to really look. Wow, look at all these clouds over here. Yeah. There's some additional dust in here that we're just not picking up before.
When you were zoomed in a minute ago there on the Horsehead,
I'm going to go back.
You can see the striations in the cloud to the right of the wall, too.
That's right. And what he's talking about are these little faint... Let me move it over here. You can see these faint little ribbons. Yeah. These are not artifacts. These are actual... I'm not even doing any enhancement right now. If we come in here and do enhancement, let's see how this works. Let's do a little sharpening. Watch the screen now. Let's watch this little star. Wow, look at that. That's pretty interesting. Wow.
Well, you're catching a lot of detail there.
I'm letting it go. I mean, we've got 15 stacked. I'm going to keep going. Look at here. Look at this beautiful reflection. This looks deep. Looks like it just goes right down in there, you know?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's that Gustave Doré effect I've talked about. Like you're looking through a cloud toward heaven or something.
And look at this. Look at this. These little filaments here. I don't think we've caught these before. Look at this. Is really
not
detailed.
That well. We have seen them, but not that well.
Holy cow! I'm actually I'm I'm very pleased with how it's looking right now.
Got another little star in the horse's nose, like right where his nostril would be.
Yeah, right there.
Right there.
Yeah. I think this dot and this dot are artifacts on the sensor.
Okay.
Genghis says V338 makes me think of a swallow's nest. Okay. Hey, Science Bob. Is that Vandenberg 838? Is that what he's talking about? V?
That one object I mentioned where the light echo showed, I think it's V838. I'm not sure if it stands for Vandenberg or what.
Well, Vandenberg is usually capital V, little b. Okay. Wow.
There's famous images of it out there. I guess Izabela looked at it.
All right.
I called it ugly, and she said, "Hey, it is ugly."
All right. Well, we're at 17. Let's go a couple more, and then we'll move on. But it's really pretty. This is beautiful, beautiful.
That's very well done.
This tonight is beautiful. So we'll take advantage of it. I think there might be some wind starting up a little bit later. So we're going to try to avoid that. Look at that. Holy cow. Let me just back out a little bit. Look at that. Yep. Thank you, Izabela. Hey, it's Marianne Robb. Hi, Marianne.
Hi, Marianne.
Marianne, I was telling everybody yesterday that I have to speak at the MUFON Symposium in July in Roswell and then down in Arkansas next month. So this is pretty good, but look at this. This is just beautiful.
Oh, it is.
My gosh, I'm stunned by that. Yeah, right, Marianne? She says it's an amazing picture. Yeah, let me show you the whole thing. This is only showing you a portion of it. All right, let me back out. Check this out. This is the whole shot. Doom. Wow. Wow. The Flame Nebula looks really involved, too. Look at that.
Yes.
Wow.
It all just... you get this sometimes, like some evenings before it's even gotten totally dark, you just get really still air for a while.
Yeah.
You can get a lot of detail.
Yeah. So we're actually just getting fully dark out there right now anyway. I'm actually going to do this. I'm actually going to, first of all, label it. And I think I might have this defined already. Let's see. Yeah, go ahead. Prove me wrong. Oh, it's right there. Barnard 33. That's Horsehead, Barnard 33. Okay, so I'm going to, let's see, we're at 19 stacked, finishing up on the 20th. Marianne has a beautiful art gallery in her house, which is just amazing. Yeah, so where's Bill? He's supposed to be joining us. Well, he's not going to come in then, I guess. I can't see. All right. Isn't it Renee? Renee Cruz says it's so colorful. Yeah, it really is. Hey there, Jessica. Wow. Okay, we have 20. So we're going to pause this now. 20 successful. And so we're going to save this. It's going to go to Barnard 33 Dark Nebula. It's otherwise known as the Horsehead Nebula. So we're saving the FITS file, which you see across the top. That's the astronomical format. However, a FITS file format is a format that you can You can view for free. There are free viewers of FITS file, FITS viewers out there that are free. But you don't need to use that if you don't want to, because what we can do is this. I'm going to save these exactly as seen, right, like that. And now you'll see a ping file saved. And that's one you can double click and see this exact image like that right there. So you get them all, man. You get it all. All right. So let's now go out of here and clear this. And I'm really tempted now to try the same kind of thing with the Orion Nebula. Aren't you?
Sure.
Oh. So let's get this down to 1 second again. Do our wonderful hyper view here. Now let's go check it out. So we're going to go and go into here and let's go look here and see. And we don't actually have to, I don't even have to do a find on it. I know how to just drop down and find it because it's just right below us. So you watch the telescope icon here go south as we start to bring the Orion Nebula into play here.
I saw a really nice Orion Nebula image the other day. I don't remember where I saw it at. The guy had blended exposures. So, you had tons of detail out in the cloud, but you could still zoom in on it and see the trapezium very clearly.
All right.
It was a really pretty picture.
There we go. All right. And now what we're going to do is something a little bit strange. I don't know if I'm going to do that. I'll try this. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to change our rate to a slow rate so that I can just slowly move it up a little bit. And that's it. Now we're going to get satellites in here because we always get satellites in here. But I'm going to actually do another 65-second shot. And I can't start the exposure yet because we're now still hunting. We're still hunting for a guide star. So we're going to do that. What's it doing? Why is it doing that to me? I don't want that to keep doing that. I'm trying to just say 65 seconds. Oh, maybe because I moved the cursor off. That's why. Okay. And now 65 seconds it is. And we're going to stack. And we'll clear the previous stack. Okay. Obviously, you know that that's just a matter of a processing issue right there. We just process this and get that out of there. All right, but we're not going to do that now because we're done with this. Okay, do it anyway. And we'll clear it now. So we have, as I mentioned to you, Starlink is on site. We just don't have a connection to the router for Starlink yet because we need an Ethernet adapter. How nice.
I read today that Starlink raised their rates.
They did, but we were grandfathered in, so we're covered.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Okay, let's see what we got for our live stack. We want to see some really nice dust. It's going to be between the Running Man and the Orion Nebula. Oh yeah, this is going to be a beautiful shot. Alright, first things first. Let's go into our stack. And let's do a color correction. That's better. Look at that. And then we'll just do a little processing here. I'm going to move this over because I'd like to give us a little more push on that. Show that dust a little better. Look at this. Okay, so now you actually can see the full stretch of the dust here. There is so much dust that's everywhere, and then between Running Man and Orion Nebula, they're connected actually. And this dark nebula here, this dark stuff is actually vaguely illuminated by the stars in the Orion Nebula and by the glowing gas in the Orion Nebula. We've said it yesterday, the red is the hydrogen illuminated, it's actually the glowing hydrogen gas. The bluish green is the oxygen glowing gas. And then the blue nebula here, which is starkly different from any of these colors. This is actually an area where there's not as much hydrogen, and what's taking over there is what's called a reflection nebula. The blue color is the scattered light of the young stars inside this cluster here, and so the blue gets scattered very easily. That's why our sky is blue. Same reason. So we see it here too. Really pretty. Now we've got 2 stacked, and as we do more, this noise, this kind of sand-looking appearance in here is going to go away. We can soften it a little bit. There's a way to soften it in our enhancements, and I can try it with the bilateral filter. Let's see how that works. Let's see if that softens it. Yeah, it softens it a little, but it actually kind of removes a little of our data. But look at that. That doesn't look bad. And we remove it. We'll remove the bilateral filter once this gets a little bit more exposure stack in place. Look at that. That's the value of the bilateral filter. You see, it actually helps you smooth out the details so you can see what's going on. All right, that's cool. All right. Now we've got 3 stacked right now. If I turn that off, watch what happens to the screen. Watch what it looks like. Okay. You can see that it gets a little bit rougher, but because we see how it's modeled in here, we didn't have that with the bilateral filter. But the bilateral filter steals data, so we don't want that. See, it's kind of rough down here. All right, turn it back on, and then come back to that, and I'll show you how it looks. So turn on the bilateral filter and get out of this right away. Right, and look at, see, it's not rough down here anymore. Looks kind of good. And if you're looking at things from a distance, it's fine, you know. But if you're looking at things up close, you'll notice that your data, some data is being stolen from you. Beautiful. This is really pretty. This part right here, the Running Man, this Running Man part, and I see that we have a little bit of a guiding issue still. Not that bad, but just a slight one. So that's gonna have to change. I'm actually gonna try something here. It won't hurt anything as we're doing this right now. I'm gonna go say go to 13. Probably a lucky number. Okay. All right, and it will back out. Ah, that's just so beautiful. Isn't it amazing that this is actually there? We're watching and looking at this beautiful dust. It's actually moving through the heavens, but we don't see it because it's so far away and it's such a big expansive cloud you can't tell. Look at that beautiful, this is gorgeous with them. This is called M43 right here, this location. This is all blown out, too bright. But we're doing this to show this detail in the background. Show all this other detail here. Look at this little cloud right there, Daryl. I don't think we ever saw those 2 double clouds before.
Looks like a snowman.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, look at that. You can definitely see the color is actually quite good because we can see the oxygen glowing here. This oxygen gas. And then we see the hydrogen gas glowing. And if we come in and we go back to our histogram, we'll turn off the bilateral filter because now we're stacking 6. We may not need it as much anymore. And now we'll get to see all of our data. I'm going to take in just... I'm going to do this. I'm going to move this down a little. It's going to soften everything. But it also accentuates certain things like in here. Look at that. That's just beautiful right there. Look at that beautiful tendril. Huh. Hey, Shaiben, how are you? Wow. And then, if we come back here, by pushing this one, this mid-level to the left, we're doing what's called a little bit of what's called a push. And go too far and it blows out the nebula completely. However, look what you see. You see a lot of the more subtle details out here, right? But let's move that down a little bit. Move our mid-level back to the right a bit. And then once we do that, let's move the entire black level, right, into the image, so we can darken it down a little and see just how much of this central part is blown out. And when we come in, we see, actually come all the way over, okay, that's what's blown out in the nebula. All right, so anything in there you can't really see, right? But when we come back now, this is what's actually there, okay, right about there. And that's just beautiful. Wow. I've never gotten over the fact that this is performing so well. Look at that. That's something, huh, Daryl?
I see Mr. Burns.
Up here?
No, the washed out part of the nebula.
Oh, right here?
M43 is his nose.
Oh, you're on a much bigger scale.
Yeah.
Excellent, Smithers. All right, yes, sir.
In fact, he's facing to the upper left.
Yeah, I see. So, wait a minute.
His nose, sure? That's his mouth.
This is his mouth?
Nope, that's his nose.
Oh, yeah,
That's the bottom of his nose. That's his mouth there.
Right
that's
here?
The same thing as, yes, that's the same thing as Bill Murray's Baby Ruth. Or Barney from The Simpsons, his burp.
Yeah, that.
Right yeah.
I think somebody's seen The Simpsons one too many times.
Yeah. What I see.
Yeah. All right, we're going to stack 10 here, and then we'll move on. Because I really want to get a view down below as well. And check this out. Because right now, this is the size of our image. And after this image, we're going to pause this. And we'll save it. This is M42 and Running Man. Good. All right. And let's get the stack in. Okay, there we go. 10. Pause. Save the raw file. Then save it exactly as seen. And it's going to go to the directory called M42 and a Running Man. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to clear this. First, I'm going to look at it one more time. And I'm going to bring this up to about here. Okay, here we go. And clear. Get rid of the stack. Go here. You guys having a good time? I hope you are. Okay, and now let's actually do this. You can see the stars that light up the Orion Nebula right here. This is called the trapezium, and what you're seeing here is a lot of the oxygen, and the hydrogen emission is also within there, but it's more subtle, and so and your eyes are more sensitive to green anyway, so you don't see it as easily as other colors.
Can you zoom in on that right now?
I can. Let me just pop out of this and do this. Let me zoom in. I'll go right to 100% because we should be able to. And it needs to be actually a shorter exposure even.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take it down to let's say 250 milliseconds, quarter of a second. I did it, didn't I? Or did it say 25? 2 milliseconds. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's just do this. 250. And ms. Alright. And now you can see the trapezium, those 4 hot young stars. There's actually more in there than just the 4. And there's a lot of stars in here that are in the process of forming. And they will be stars that are visible to us at some point. I'm going to go to 400% right now. And you'll be able to see this now at the limits of our capability. But you see all 4 stars, and you'll notice that it's moving all the time because it's a live view. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 stars, primarily.
Yeah, and I think 2 of those are multiple stars too.
That's correct. There's some spectroscopic ones in there as well.
Yeah.
All right, so let's bring this back to 1 second, and let's go back to I said 1 second. There we go. Yep.
Uberku. Those colors are real, potentially able to be seen with the eye, or the colors applied based on element associated. That is true also. The colors of the light you see are because of emission from the various elements. Oxygen is green, hydrogen is red. I have seen the Orion Nebula through a bunch of different telescopes in my life, and the colors are subtle. The green is the easiest to see. I have seen faint wisps of the red in a very large refractor ones.
And it takes a lot to see them.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's funny, in my mind's eye, though, it's like it's burned in my memory. Whenever I look at Orion, or think back to when I have seen it in my mind's eye, it's always green to me.
Yeah.
If you see it in the eyepiece, though, on a small, medium-sized telescope, it's just shades of gray. And maybe with just traces of green.
Now, right below the Orion Nebula, we have this little guy right down here. This is called the 13th Perl. And I'll show you what that looks like up close. We'll go to 100%. And then I'll drag it up and show you. Okay. This is a interesting star that's enveloped in a beautiful nebula. But the nebula has this weird shape to it. You see that? It looks like a T. And once we do a longer exposure, you're going to see this is going to get blown out. But behind it, you're going to see a reflection nebula, a blue nebula that is actually caused by the star and its powerful ultraviolet light having its light scattered, having its blue light scattered. And that's the visible part of the spectrum. The ultraviolet is not. But the star itself has ultraviolet light that's also, in part, something that might be able to ionize the hydrogen atoms in the region. But we see some of that. You'll see, like right here, you're going to see like a black dust lane kind of just covering it. And it's a subtle red color, but I can't say for sure whether that's what's going on there. But anyway, let's go do an exposure of this beauty, and then we'll have a southern Orion Nebula view of this area. So we're down below here. So let's do that. I'm going to move us down just a little more, just to catch a little more.
Excuse me.
Okay, like that.
Pardon me.
Yeah, sure. Okay, now we wait the obligatory 12 seconds or so, and meanwhile I will set this up. Alright. Yeah, we're going to do 65 seconds once again. Alright. And get rid of this and get our stack going. I think this might be pretty, to be honest.
Mark, would you excuse me a moment, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
So where we're looking is we're looking at this stuff right here. We're in the southern Orion Nebula region, and we're going to be looking at the dark dust and some reflection nebula, some emission nebula that's down there. And you know, we're 16 seconds from seeing that exposure. Nice and nicey nice. I love it. Thank you, Vera. Yes, don't forget to like us, please. Give us a thumbs up. All right, what do we got? Oh, look at that. Wow. That is really pretty. You can start to see the subtle reflection nebula I was telling you about above that object that I told you about. I'll bring back the name shortly. Go away. Yeah. Satellite went through. And the other interesting in the other photos, we didn't get a satellite coming through, which I thought was kind of interesting. Okay, so now this guy, for enhancement, I'll turn on the bilateral filter to make it less noisy. You'll notice it's going to smooth out a little bit. Yeah. And you can actually see that blue a little better. Very nice.
Okay.
Okay, we'll keep it off because I want to forget it's on. All right.
Whoops. One more time, just a sec.
You can see the beautiful. This is like right here. This is honest, just reflected light on the dust from the brightness of this nebula, which is light years away. So there's a lot going on here that's really fascinating. And then you have this scattered light down here from a star, possibly this star, and this will be, you'll see this little bridge material that's over this star area and in front of it. But I think it's reflecting, and its blue light's being scattered back here behind it. You got a little bit here too. And as time goes on, we've only stacked 2. As we get more stacked, you'll actually see that very clearly. By the time we get to 10, oh man, this is gonna be beautiful. The sky is full of this dust, you know, and it's brownish color like we see. There's some darker and there's some lighter. Depends on the composition. The material that's actually based on carbon atoms is going to be very, very dark. The material based on silicon atoms are going to be kind of brownish and lighter. But carbon is the 4th most abundant element in the entire universe. So we're talking about a lot of material out there. You know, really cool stuff. Yeah, let me see if we can support a zoom. Actually, let's do it this way. I want to show you this nebula down here.
Okay, that's still 13th Perl there, isn't it?
Yes. Of course, the 13th Perl, that subtle shadow here, that subtle void in this nebula right there. I think in the 13th Perl, that's actually a void, isn't it? An actual void.
I think that's what they say. Yeah, you're actually seeing through it. It's like a hole in it.
Yeah, that's very rare, actually. We don't really see holes that much. We see it in the nebula like the Iris Nebula. We actually see kind of through it, and you see lots of stars beyond, and yet everything is fuzzed out, but then you see through it and see sharp stars. That's how you know you're seeing through it, too. But now the blue is really showing up, this reflection component of the nebula. Here you see this beautiful dark cloud illuminated by the subtle light of the nebula that's above it up here. You know, shining down, again, light years away. That's just amazing.
That's cool.
We're going to try the bilateral filter again, just to see if the bilateral filter is going to help us here. Oh, yeah. So you see the bilateral filter helps it a little bit be a little more clear. Izabela says, how is it that the music always matches the mood of the objects? I agree with you. I think it's just, it is like a soundtrack for a movie. You're absolutely right.
That's synchronicity. It happens sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Look at that.
That used to be a thing back in my hippy-dippy days.
Yeah, that's true. Wow, man, it's synchronicity, brother.
Yeah. Oh, one time many years ago, there was some friends out visiting me here when I lived up in the high country, and we were watching TV with the stereo playing, and we had on the movie. It's called Isadora. It's about Isadora Duncan, the dancer. Vanessa Redgrave, I think, was the actress.
Okay.
And we played the album Close to the Edge by Yes.
Okay.
And the synchronicity between the music and the action on the screen was just perfect for the entire length of it.
Wow. What a beautiful image. Universe is a complex place, guys. There's a lot going on. And when you have these young stars, well, these young stars can actually cause a lot of gas to glow, and a lot of dust to illuminate, and a lot of scattering, which you see here, creating this blue nebula behind the 13th Perl. Anahata, or Bonnie, says she was just talking about synchronicity. She was about to type that when you said it.
Oh.
So, there you go. Genghis asked a good question. Are there Bach globules in all nebulas? First, let's redefine a Bach globule. Bach globules are the small, gravitationally condensed areas of dark nebula that also have gas in them. They can be responsible for forming stars, singular stars, multiple stars, and or whole star systems with planets. But do all nebulas have them? To in some capacity, maybe. I can't answer that because I don't know all nebulas. But I do know that many nebulas do.
They're not uncommon.
That's right.
I mean, we've seen them in the Eagle Nebula, I think, and
Lagoon.
We saw in the Lagoon. We saw them last night in the Rosette.
Yeah. Now, in all fairness, I haven't seen any in the Orion Nebula yet, but I know they're there. And it's because we have to be able to zoom in and look at a higher resolution to see them. The ones we see are big ones. You know, ones that are many, many, many times the size of our solar system, maybe 20 or more solar systems across. So those are pretty big dark clouds. But they condense and they can form a nebula for a star to form from, you know.
Thank you,
Vera. Vera says, everything's so beautiful, but with your and Daryl explaining so much, it's much more interesting. Thank you. That's a very, very prescient thing to say. I like that. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Bonnie. That's just one reason I love it here, she says. Well, I had the privilege of meeting Bonnie when she came out to a talk I did in Centennial, Colorado. And she's every bit as nice in person as she is here in the chat. So that's one gem you got right there in her.
I can't believe she drove all the way from Pagosa Springs.
She did. 5 hours, I thought. And jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a long haul.
Yeah, it's a long haul. I think I sold you a book, Bonnie. You know? I should have paid you to give you a book, you know. Look at this. See now how this is coming out? See, there's that bridge I was telling you about, that bridge.
Yes.
You can see that now.
We're gonna zoom in on that
Yeah,
again?
I'm doing that right now. Yep. And I got to take off the bilateral filter. I'm going to get rid of the bilateral filter as well. Subtle guiding error. I'm going to get rid of that. Maybe not tonight. Look at that. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Look at that. We actually see that this is you've never seen this before. This has really got a lot of tendrils in here. Very, very detailed in here. Let's see if we can pull out some more detail. Let's go to first of all, let's turn off the bilateral filter and look at it, the natural data without any interpretation. And then let's go here. And now let's go and let's do this. Let's actually push this data. All right. Now let's see what we got. Wow. There's a lot of detail in here.
Yep. There's a lot going on beneath it, too.
Yeah, like right here.
Yep.
This is very... Oh, hey, Mr. Satellite. Thank you.
Zoom, zoom.
Yeah. It'll go away. Maybe not, because we're going to stop at 10. So we might have a subtle satellite trail in here. But look at that. That's just so pretty.
Seems like the seeing is still really holding up tonight.
It is. It is. I'm liking that.
Anything else you think we should try with the seeing like it is?
Yeah. How about the dolphin head?
If you like. I was terribly impressed by what we saw the other time we looked.
How about M78 then?
Say again?
How about M78 then?
Oh, that? Maybe LDN 1622 again, or
sure,
maybe IC 447 again. It'd be interesting to take a really deep exposure of that sometime.
Yeah.
Somebody said that last night. I forget who it was, and that's probably beyond the scope of a live stream like this, though. Well, I mean, pull out some detail on that.
Yeah, but we'd have to do a, I want people to enjoy the time here too.
Well, that's my point.
Yeah. All right, so I saved the ping, saved it out there. Oh, but I put it in the wrong. Actually, M42 and Running Man. It'll go in the same directory, but that's okay because it's part of the, it's part of that whole, region. So we're okay. I'll let that slide this time. Or I'll move it out. I don't know. All right, so it's all saved. We'll clear the stack after, but look at that, huh? That's really pretty. Let's back out so you can see the whole thing. All right. And there we go. We actually have some beautiful, beautiful convoluted dust clouds in here. This is stunning. Wow.
So much going on.
There is. So we're going to go down to our 1 second again. I didn't want to do that. Why is it doing that? I have no idea why it did that.
Bonnie, I feel bad about that. I mean, geez, you drove 5 or 6 hours, and I couldn't drive a single hour.
Would it have taken you an hour?
Roughly.
Oh, okay. I guess with traffic and stuff. Alright, let's do this. Let's go to 1 second again. And do our hyper shot here. Well, if Daryl came out, he also, what he missed was getting invited to dinner. He missed that too, Bonnie.
Go ahead, rub it in.
Okay, he missed dinner, Bonnie. It was a great dinner. You had a good time too, if I recall. It was great, and we even had a little mini magic show.
Where did you go for dinner?
I don't remember. It was at the hotel, the restaurant there. It was good. Very good. I mean, so very good, Daryl. Don't worry. You'll have another chance because I'm there in July again.
Where are you going to be in July?
Denver.
I mean, what hotel? What part of town?
I don't know. I'll have to let you know. It's the Move On Symposium, so wherever that is being held. Okay, we're getting Bellatrix in here now, which is the upper right-hand star of Orion. We're going to center that. And from there, we're going to go to Measure 78. And we're going to do this another deep shot. I think that's going to really pull out some phenomenal data here. The seeing is really good. It's actually higher in the sky than the Orion Nebula was, so it's actually going to be even better looking. Okay, Bellatrix is locked in place, and then you're going to see the glow of the Measure 78 object right here. Oh, this is going to be really pretty. This is going to look nice. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's move it over. Now, what's interesting is, your eye can see where the stars are supposed to be, but the stars are blocked by something here. And that something there is this dark nebula that's in this region that you just don't see. I'm going to bring this up a little bit. All right, and do that, and then move it over a little bit. And we got a satellite zipping through. We'll let it go. Okay. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Okay. Now we'll wait our obligatory 11 seconds. And then we're going to come in here and see what we've got for imagery. This is going to look pretty nice, I think. Okay. Oh, Bonnie, I like that idea. Okay, here we go. And we're now exposing, and we're going to live stack this. And there's the previous exposure. Get a last look at it. There's that beautiful reflection nebula. There's the 13th Perl, almost overexposed. And now it's not hurting. The picture being taken now is being loaded onto the sensor. It's going to be read off the sensor. So we have right up until the last second to clear this, but this is just beautiful. I love the subtlety in this dust cloud here.
Yeah.
It's a little gem hidden in Orion. You'd never know it was there. And now it's gone. Ha ha. No, I'm just kidding. All right. So we have 6 seconds until we see this first image at 65 seconds, 1 minute and 5 seconds. And, all right. And what I'll do is, we have a little bit of noise, obviously.
Another satellite.
Yeah. It's like, hello, kitty, another satellite. All right. We have noise,
forget
obviously.
To rename this one.
No, I'm gonna do that again. All right. And let's get rid of a little bit of a greenish cast here. Okay. And now let's go here and call this Measure 78. I think I have a pre-selected one for this one.
M78.
Right there. Reflection Nebula. Yep. All right. Come on. Ugh. All right. So there we go. And I think we can just do a little bit of processing on this. All right. And let's do that. I'm going to do this. Just a subtle drop there, just to do that. Okay. I'm writing this and get this to you. So here's where we are. And it's just to know where this is, it's literally just northeast of Orion. That's where we are right now, and this is the belt of Orion. And it's actually in Orion, just to this location, just a little bit to the upper left here. It's also known as the Casper the Friendly Ghost Nebula, which is kind of silly. But there's no accounting for taste, I guess. Yep. I'm liking it. I'm doing temperature controlled focusing. Let's see how it works. Not that bad. Not that bad. I see we got a couple of issues though. Well, we stacked 4 of these. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the unthinkable. I'm going to delete it without saving it yet. And I'm going to go back here and do a 1 second exposure again, because what I want to do is get our critical focus back, because as the temperature drops out there, the focus changes, but you know, sometimes it follows, sometimes it doesn't quite follow, and it's not quite critically focused. And now that I can get critical focus, let me tell you, I just don't want to be without it. So focus assistant, go down here, go to our multi-star full width half maximum routine, and we're doing that. Actually, first things first, I gotta come in here, turn off temperature correction. I'm gonna manually put the star right out of focus, just so that to put the stars out of focus, so I can actually get this to process inward. So then we're gonna scan inward, and it'll find the focus just perfectly. Ready, go. All right. So it's gonna build our graph as we saw before. Okay. It picks stars. It'll pick stars. Then it's going to take samples from other stars to get an idea of whether they are focused or not. This way, if it sees a nebula, or like say a ring nebula, it won't think that the ring is an out of focus star, because it takes samples from other stars nearby. All right. So our focus starts going in, and then it starts coming up the other side. And then you'll see a second line develop where it says that we actually have a best focus location. And that is coming up. Okay, we've already rounded the bend, and we're going up the other direction now. And so it'll make this nice graph and find our point of best focus. There we go. Bam. And that could change as time goes on. That could change. Okay, focuser scan completed. Let's go to the best position. And you'll see it scan all the way across with this line right here. Boom, 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 all the way up. And then it'll come down and refocus perfectly. There we go. Ta-da. Boom. Ta-da. I just get chills every time I see that. I'm telling you, it's really beautiful. And now when we look at our sky, now the stars have a different appearance. They don't look slightly bloated. They're actually sharp and pinpoint and precise. So now when we do this nebula and we take pictures of it, it's going to be a stunner. So let's do 65 and turn this off. And it was on LX mode, so why didn't it do seconds? It should have. So we'll do that and just say seconds. All right. Here we go.
LX mode.
Long exposure mode.
Oh.
So it supposedly goes into seconds rather than milliseconds.
I get it. For some reason, I was thinking Mead LX.
I know. Okay. So you see how the stars are a little bloated here, and that's what prompted me to do the focus routine again. So we're going to clear this one. And we're going to get something a lot nicer now. And the first photo always has noise in it, and then as we work on the image, as it stacks more images on top of each other into an image sandwich, then we end up getting less noise, because the noise is random. And as the actual data takes over, we get the higher data to noise ratio. That's a signal to noise ratio, it's called. Yes, Izabela. It's the Casper, the friendly ghost nebula. Oh, it's looking nice. This is going to be a pretty image, man. Look at this. The majesty of the universe just comes out when you see images like this developing right before your eyes. And it's something I've always wanted to do. It's always something that I wanted to have people see, was how the universe is constructed and built. And images like this, where you have this beautiful dark nebula, this beautiful reflection nebula, is just it's the pièce de résistance to the universe. What the heck? Let's actually pull this out and make it full size. Okay. There we go. That's beautiful. Yeah, I always wondered, Daryl, you see these, and we're kind of used to taking some nice pictures with the telescope and all. But if you take the time to think about what's actually happening here, what's actually going on, this data is being acquired from 2,500 miles away. It's being acquired by a telescope out in the desert, being fully remotely controlled. And then the data is being shipped out of the observatory up to satellites, where it's then being sent down to a server where it's being stored for dissemination, and it's within seconds. Overall, that process really is the most amazing thing. We are leveraging so many technologies to do what everyone sees here.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just impressed with how good the system performs, I mean, you can see this dark nebula against the stars now.
Yep.
And I haven't even done any processing to this yet. If I did, then let's see what that would do. It would probably push it a little bit. And it does, move our black level back a little bit to try and pull out some more detail. And then change the color. It'll actually make the clouds probably look a little browner. Yeah. And that's more accurate right there. So look at that. We have cloud over here. We have cloud up here with billowing in it. We have more stuff over here. This is a diffuse hydrogen emission nebula here. We have this very, very complex dark nebula here. Let me pull out those words. We don't need those right now. And there's a lot going on right in this little region right here. Look at that beautiful glowing object right here. This is just something else. I'll try putting on the bilateral or bilinear filter. No, bilateral filter. What am I saying? Bilateral filter to see if we can get rid of some of the noise, and that'll work for a period of time, and then we'll get rid of it. But look at this detail. Look at these two stars. We got a little blue star, a little red star. Just amazing. Yes, we'll zoom in on that. You were gonna ask that.
Can you darken it just a hair?
Yeah. I can. I was trying to pull out the subtle data out here, but I know what you want to do. And to darken it just a tad, we do this. Okay, this will take it down just a notch.
Yeah.
Look at this tendril. Look at that beautiful little tentacle, right? It's like a tentacle, isn't it? Wow. Look at how this is splayed out. This is just an amazing location.
Go all the way down there. Okay, well, are we zoomed in?
Yeah, we are. We're at 52%. You want to zoom out?
No. You shifted the field and trying to relocate where I was.
Okay.
The big dark cloud that's to the upper right of center right now. Can you zoom in on that general area?
Yeah. Remember, we're using the bilateral filter. This is the most interesting part of this right here. I'd love to see a Hubble image of that spot right there.
Yeah.
That's just beautiful.
And the bright yellow thing just below that, I have to guess that's actually in that dark nebulosity.
Yeah, it looks like a star that's probably... It's a star that looks like it's probably illuminating the dust directly rather than doing any scattering. So it might be like a red giant star of some kind, or maybe a small M-class dwarf.
And the object to its right is very red.
This guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wonder if the dust is reddening that too.
It looks like it's in the dust, but it might also be a red star to begin with. Like a subtle red dwarf, like many of the faint red stars in here that you see are probably red dwarfs as well. Alright, let's back out of this now. Oh, I just yawned, I'm sorry. Okay, look at this. Wow. I swear I don't think we've ever seen it this good. I don't think we've ever seen it this good. Okay, let's turn off the bilateral filter.
What exactly does bilateral filter do?
The bilateral filter will take the noise. It looks at the adjoining pixels and it kind of merges them to get rid of the noise. And the problem with that is that you lose data that way, and I don't want to lose data. So our noise is returned, and we only have 8 stacked. So if we go to like, I don't know, say 20 stacked, we wouldn't see it. Hey there, Neil Native, how are you? You guess what's over?
Nelly?
Oh, Nelly, I'm sorry. I thought it said Neil. Nelly Nativi. Oh, Nelly Nativi.
What's over?
I don't know. Nelly says, I guess it's over. It's not over. The show's not over at all. It ain't over until it's over.
Izabela, I guess that's sort of what we were wondering. That really red star we saw when we were zoomed in to the right of the yellowish thing. Whether it was actually embedded in the dust and if that was reddening it so much or just a red dwarf by nature. I wouldn't think it's a red giant.
We'd actually have to look in the Simbad database or NEDS or the portal to actually, these are astronomical databases online that I use a lot, and we could determine exactly what that star is and what type it is.
Can we zoom back in for a moment on the big dark part of the cloud just to the lower right of the center of M78? Higher up, right there.
Here?
Curious to see that.
Filament?
Well, the dark, but then that's obviously like a dark wall, partially covering that lighter area behind it. It looks like.
It is. It looks like
and looks like there's a really fine filament, a dark filament sticking up into the light part.
Yeah.
A couple of them.
Right here. There's some here, subtle details here. There's one right here. A little like an eyebrow sticking out. You got a couple of these little guys right here.
Yeah, that's the one I was referring to right there.
Yeah. Eyelashes. Let's see if the bilateral filter will get rid of that detail. I don't want it to. That's the whole point. Let's do it. Ready? Let's watch. Keep your eye on this little guy right here. Did I get it or did I not hit it? I thought I missed it. Okay, so here we go.
James, that's kind of what I was thinking. Or wondering anyway.
When you're answering someone's question, read the question too so everybody knows what you're answering.
James says a star inside the dust. Daryl, question mark. I guess that's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
I think we see more there.
Yeah. I mean, these two stars right here are the ones that are primarily responsible for lighting up this nebula. Okay, and it is a reflection nebula, so their light's being scattered by this by the dust in this nebula, without a doubt.
Yeah, the little light patch to the lower right of that, what we just looked at with that little dark finger sticking into it right there.
Right there.
I mean, I assume whatever's making that light is hidden behind the that dark wall.
Well, it could still be these two stars,
or
because
yes,
we don't know the architecture of the dust back here that lets some through. Because we also have some here too.
Yes.
You know, like right there, we have more. Yeah, but it's cool. Okay, we've stacked 12 of these images now. And we're at a sensitivity of 300, so I'm going to actually turn off the bilateral filter. Right there. Okay. Not bad. This looks pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I could do and haven't done is I could have made this like a 3 or 4 minute exposure. Yeah, and we see a lot more, but I'm not doing that only because we're doing a live stream with you and I don't want to have you hung up waiting and waiting and waiting. I'll do these things and then I'll show them to you later on. So I'll do them privately. Okay, so here's the FITS file we'll save here with 12 stacked. And then we'll save this exactly as seen. Okay. All right. And now we can get rid of our stack. Boy, I just don't want to. It's like you want to just look at this. Look at all the detail in here. Wow. Wow.
Would you like to try LDN 1266 again?
Absolutely.
Okay.
B1622?
Or 1622, yes.
Yeah, okay. All right. Let's
go
do that.
Just a moment. I'll be right back.
All right. Okay. I want to thank you guys for coming out here tonight to see what we're doing. JSCO 77, nice to see you. Thanks for coming by. All right, and let's zoom to the full extent here on this. All right, let's go to grab the full size of the frame, fitting it to the screen. There we go. All right, so now let's go to our planetarium system. But first, let me push us back up there so I can see the telescope and the control section over there. And now let's do LDN 1622. Make sure that we are looking good. LDN is a dark nebula. That's what the DN means, and it's Lind's dark nebula. LYNDS. Lind was a astronomer. 1622. Okay. Find you. There it is. It's just above. But I'm going to have us go there computationally because I don't want to not know where it is. So that's it. That's where we're going. And we're going to say go. So here we go. It's not going to go far. It's going to go probably back to a star in Orion as a waypoint star. And that waypoint star is none other than... Go ahead, say it, Daryl.
Betelgeuse.
You got it, Betelgeuse. Nelly says, how do you view the sky? Telescope? Yes. If you look over my head, you can actually see the telescope right here in the building with the roof off. I'm controlling a telescope from the state of Connecticut, and the telescope is out in the state of Arizona in the desert. And we see satellites like that. And now we're going to LDN 1622. And if I recall, that star is right near it. So it should be.
Well, I saw your stellarium a moment ago. I guess I didn't remember that it was that close to M78.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Well, we have to take a picture of it to make sure it's what we expect it to be. I think it's right here. I think it's actually right here in the image. But we're going to find out, aren't we?
I guess we will.
I guess we will. Let's do a 75-second shot of this guy. And give that a try.
So that's just a real short jog above M78.
Yeah, but I didn't want to just like move up. I wanted to have it find it so that we actually, had something to waypoint off of, because otherwise we could get it wrong and not know exactly where we were.
Mm-hmm.
While we're waiting for this, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to set up being able to see more data than we normally do. So we go to DSO, which stands for Deep Sky Object in our program. And we're going to select C for Caldwell. We have Messier already selected. We have New General Catalog selected. Index Catalog selected. Caldwell. And then we have Barnard, B. We have Sharpless, which is SH. Vandenberg, which is the VDB. And then we have Lind's Bright Nebula and Lind's Dark Nebula. We are currently looking at an LDN, a Lind's Dark Nebula. And these guys I'll leave off for now. That's Trumpler and more. All good, but not necessary. But now you'll see more markings on the page. Okay. And there's LDN 1622 right in the middle. And what do we got? Let's go look. Let's go look. Whoa, look at that. Wow.
And
that is
the Boogeyman, correct?
That's right, LDN 1622. That's looking really pretty. Stars are nicely focused. That looks really pretty. Let's go into here. Okay, bilateral filters off. That's good. Let's go to the histogram. And let's color correct. Just give us a subtle change to get us back to what's to be right. There we go. And I'll adjust this out after, but
75-second images?
Yes, sir. Longest we've ever done. This little guy right here, as this develops, you're going to see this is a really pretty reflection nebula.
Okay, and I remember the little dark chunks to the upper left now, too.
Yep. Alright, LDN 1622. And put that up so you can see what you're looking at. All right, and this is all true. This is the Boogeyman Nebula. The Boogeyman. Yep. Nelly, by the way, just so you know, what Izabela is putting up there are links to our online server where you can pick up all the images we take tonight for free. And there's pretty pictures in the directory called Processed. As you wade in, you'll see. And these pretty pictures are available for you to take and do whatever you like with. But if you use them for anything, just give us credit, that's all. Just so you know. DK, how you doing? Why is it called the Boogeyman? Well, as the image develops, you'll see. And there's your music sync again, Izabela. It is. It's like a malevolent sound, isn't it? I'll take the name off so you guys can see it better. Come here, you. Oh, yeah. That's just something.
DK, the Boogeyman figure is that largest dark blob there, a little right of center at the moment.
It's upside down.
He's sort of reclining on his left side right now, actually. That's his head toward the right.
You mean this?
Yes.
I thought those were the outstretched arms. And the head was here.
No, I think I'd have to go back and find that image again. I think it was, I got this from an APOD.
Alright.
That your image is rotated about 90 degrees clockwise to the to the APOD, and
yep.
I remember when we talked about this before, I said I thought it looked almost more like a wraith than a boogeyman.
Yeah.
Or like a
Dementor.
Or like, you know,
a Dementor.
The figure of death. It's like he's wearing a hood, and that's that thing sticking up to the right. Looks sort of like a hooded figure.
Yeah. Heidi says, haha, 2 nights in a row. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, the night, and look at the night. I mean, this is beautiful. It's just so stunning. Let's see if the bilateral filter does anything for us right now to kind of clear up some of the noise. It may not. I could actually up this number and it would make it really much less blurry. It robs us of a little data, but it shows it a little clearer. You see that?
Yeah.
That's something else.
And right now, actually, this is what you 5 images stacked.
Yeah.
Can you zoom in just above where your pointer is right now?
Right here?
There's real fine dark tendrils right there, yeah.
Okay, I see where you're looking. Right here? Yeah.
Yeah.
Heidi says, "What's up, humans?" Yeah, it's great to see you as well, Heidi. That's really pretty. Wow. Again, best we've ever seen it, you know, thus far. And, I mean, 75 seconds is a long time to make you guys wait, I realize. But, I mean, the results are actually kind of worth it.
What would happen if you tried to juice up the red a little bit? Maybe you just did.
Yeah, I can actually work on that in a second. Let me turn off the bilateral filter. I think we got to the point now where we don't need it. Now we'll get our data back so you can see a little more subtle detail in here. Let's see about kicking up the red a tad. Alright. Okay, that's a tad.
Okay.
Wow.
Do you think that's better than what we caught before?
I do. Don't you?
Oh, I guess. I'd have to go back and look at the other one to be sure.
Remember I told you guys when we started to see this develop that this area was going to look really complex? And now you can see all the subtle intricacies of the gas and the dust in here that are being illuminated directly by the star. And over here, the same kind of things going on. Moving to the left, we see a lot of other dust and stuff out here. We see these beautiful black objects out here. Maybe there's Bach globules in here, but they're going to be very small. Hey there, weird guy. He says it looks like a T-Rex. And now a dragon. Yeah. Let's see if I have a way to... Let's see if I have a way to do something here. Okay, just a minute. I'm looking. Oh wait, it's gonna be down here. Miscellaneous controls. Is this the one? No, not that guy. Not the image controls. Maybe it is. Let's see. No. We don't need image controls. We can shut down thermal controls because we already have our... we're already at our proper position. And then this is okay. Yeah, supply flat. Okay, background subtraction. Okay.
If you look at the third of the three small dark clumps up toward the top,
this one?
The next one down.
This one.
The next one down.
This one with the little weird little sticky thing sticking up?
Yeah, now that I think about it, I think I remarked on that before. It's almost like a hummingbird.
Oh yeah.
See, there's a real fine line coming off right there to the upper left.
That's the beak and the wings outstretched. It's just caught him with his wings in a downbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at the subtle little tendrils in here.
Oh yeah.
Look at the subtle tendrils in here. Wow. This is just beautiful. Let's move this more into the center. How beautiful. How beautiful indeed.
Yeah. Star to the lower right with the, I guess that's reflection nebulosity around it.
Yeah.
I would assume that's probably what's illuminating that, the red nebulosity around the boogeyman.
This one?
Would you think?
I don't know. Because this here is probably the wrong color. I don't know if that's going to be hydrogen. Let me try something here. Because it could also go into a different direction. Alright, so if we were to... we might be looking at more brown dust here. Mixed with gas. See how much more red this is? There's diffuse nebula here, but this might be brown dust mixed with some gas. But I don't know about that star causing it. I'd have to see where this star is. This star is an orange star, so it probably isn't going to have an awful lot of ultraviolet light that could ionize much of anything. But there might be some hot stars over here that are doing it that we aren't really identifying.
Yeah.
Okay, 11 stacked. Looking good. This is something else.
Oh, that one at lower right is obviously illuminating that dust right around it.
Oh yeah, for sure. But it's a pure reflection. But what you don't notice is a blue reflection nebula. And that's implying that the star's not hot enough. I should say that the star doesn't have enough blue light for this dust to scatter. Or it's overtaken by something else. It might be a subtle blue nebula. That might be subtle. Really interesting. Hey, if you think of these as two eyes right here, and this the head, and these the outstretched arms, he's looking right at us, man. They're looking him right in the eyes.
Yeah, I can see that.
And he's sailing down like this, like a Dementor. Or it's Bigfoot, and these are his legs. That's pretty cool. Purple Nebula. Cindy Murphy, hello. Cindy Murphy says a pipe wrench. The Pipe Wrench Nebula. As we go on here, we're getting more and more detail down here.
Yeah.
Let me,
I don't know, the more I look at that now, that star and brighter cloud to the lower right looks almost like it's in front of the boogeyman.
It might be. I have to look. Let's give ourselves a little leeway here. Well, it could be in front of, behind, or in line with. Heidi says it's a Bigfoot. Yeah. See here, look at this big top hat, this big top head there, the two red eyes, arms outstretched, and the legs. It's Chewbacca. You know, Chewbacca. There's his legs. That's it. Wow. Neat. Okay, 13 stacked we have here so far. Oh, look at our beautiful nebula. Let's go in and take off our bilateral filter. There we go. And now let's go back to our histogram. Do a color rendering, see if that's going to change much of anything. Not really. And then let's see what we can do with this. That might have helped a little. Okay, now we can see that the boogeyman actually continues down. Look at that. Let's actually. There we go. It wasn't full. Now it's going to be full size. See that? Not bad.
That's a cool picture.
Yeah. I have 3 star halos to get rid of, but that's easy. Oh, DK went to Garden of the Gods.
Are you in Colorado Springs, DK?
Well, he was in the Northern Springs area if he was in Garden of the Gods.
That's the west side, actually.
Yeah, northwest. Yeah, you're right.
It's just north of Manitou. That's pretty much due west.
Yeah, Manitou Springs is right next to it.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Astronaut of the Michelin Man falling backwards, maybe, James Dugan says. All right. Back to Columbus tomorrow. All right. I hear Garden of the Gods is stunning. Well, DK, you know what? Thanks for taking time out to come visit with us, man. Whether you're on a business trip or a pleasure, to take time out when you're somewhere other than your home is complimentary to me and Daryl and all the people that put together SkyTour Livestream. Thanks, man. That's cool. Did you go to Manitou Springs? A lot of cool shops there. Actually, there's a Bigfoot shop there too. A Sasquatch shop in Manitou Springs.
Yeah, the sun finally came back today. It was still a little on the cool side. It was very windy again.
Yeah, you had
in the 60s and the 70s next few days.
You actually had 35 to 45 mile an hour winds today, with gusts to 70.
Yep. Well, I could hear them blowing.
Yeah, I bet.
Garden of the Gods is a really cool place. It was deeded to the city a long time ago, and one of the conditions was that they keep it open to the public free always. The downside is they just get overrun with tourists now.
Yeah.
You can't swing a cat out there without hitting somebody. You have to go really early in the morning or just before sunset. You get better light then too anyway.
You guys picked up on that, right? You can't swing a cat without hitting someone. Because we always swing cats. That's funny. Never heard that phrase, Daryl. I'm sorry. Hi, Louis Ta. How you doing?
Garden of the Gods is part of what's called the Morrison Formation, which is a rock formation that runs all along the front range of the Rockies. If you ever heard of Red Rocks, the musical venue up west of Denver, it's all part of the same rock formation.
I was there.
And it continues even south of Garden of the Gods on the other side of Highway 24. They call it Red Rocks here, but it's not the Red Rocks. That's the one in Morrison outside Denver.
Okay.
That's where the first dinosaurs in Colorado were discovered too. They're fossils, if I remember correctly.
I want to just take a moment here. Notice that as typical when we stack, the quality took a leap. And you can see now subtle details now in this dark cloud. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
The quality has taken a leap. And that happens. So like above 15 stacked. Okay, now that the data that's dark starts to come through and isn't just like a dark blob. And you can see subtlety in all this now. And that's really, really beautiful. That's why I'm letting this stack for a while. Look at that. We have dark black. We have lighter gray. We have brown. We have reddish brown. And we have banding of that. So this is a very complex area. And we have beautiful little tendrils. This is something else. Holy cow. Let me see if I can pop some data here with just a little bit of this right here. Probably gonna be too much. Let's see. That it brings out a lot of the noise. Yeah, I prefer the other way. I think I prefer what this may do right here. Not quite that low. Maybe like that. Oh, the Stanley Hotel. That's haunted.
That's the Dustis Park. When they filmed the movie The Shining,
yeah,
the hotel they filmed it at, I was actually in Oregon, if I remember correctly. They called it the Stanley Hotel in Colorado.
Yeah. But it wasn't. DK's back in Columbus tomorrow, we said. Look at this. We're at 20 stack now, and now you can actually see more subtlety in this cloud. See that, Daryl?
I do.
This is going to be a really pretty shot. Let's see if the bilateral filter will allow us to catch more detail or lose it in this case. So that's what we can do now. Turn it on. Overall, the bilateral filter softens the image and gets rid of the noise. And in some cases, it works very nicely. That's beautiful. Holy cow. Oh, we've never seen it like this. We've never seen this like this. For us to see a dark object and a subtle object against black behind it is just incredible. This is beautiful. What if we turn off the sharpening here? Let's see what that gives us. It's subtle. But I am doing it let's actually, from one, let's increase this radius of the sharpening to more, just to kind of let it go way up, just to see what it looks like. It's going to be pretty crazy here.
All your manipulations here, unsharp mask, bilateral filter, and such, those aren't actually affecting the final image, are they?
No, they're not. They're just the display. Just the display.
DK, if you made it to the Stanley and Estes Park, I guess, did you make it to Rocky Mountain National Park?
There's lots of hills there, I think.
Mountains?
Yeah, yes, that's the joke, yeah.
Yeah. All my years here, I've never been to Rocky Mountain National Park.
Well, you probably don't want to see the tourists.
Well, exactly. I hate to say it, but Colorado's being loved. Colorado's being loved to death.
Yeah.
We're just overrun with people nowadays.
Okay, 22 stacked, and we're going to call it there. I'll do one more and let this one more image come in, and then we will do a little bit of a process here. Let's see what that gives us now. It's going to be a little darker. All right. And I want to pull back a little bit. And I also want to pull back the black level just a tad. There we go. There we don't go. That's too much.
Yeah.
I had, again, the 1 second delay killed me. That's going away, like I said, once we get our Ethernet connection. Let's try that. Okay, let's see. Let's start here again.
James Dugan asks, Mark, do you use the F2 rated filter?
Yeah, the filter I'm using is the UHC-S filter. And it says that it, for F2 it's fine. So I guess the answer is yes, James.
TK, I think you would have known if you were in the national park or not. It is a spectacular place. Especially during the summer, it's just totally overrun with people. Same as Garden of the Gods anymore.
Yeah.
Can't swing a cat, etc., etc.
Okay, LDN 1622. We're saving it now by that name up there. All right. So this is the object that we're saving now. And we have the FITS file, the astronomical format saved, and we're going to save this exactly as seen. There we go. So now that's done. So we have a brand new version of this here. This is nice. We did this before, but this is the best one we've done. Subtle details visible in the cloud here. Can't wait to see that processed out.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll clear that. Head out of this. Alright. I think we have time for one more object, so let's go see one more object. First of all, before I do that, let's go here. and take care of a few things. Number one, instead of 75 seconds, we're going to go to 1 second. And we're going to make it a beautiful hybrid view so we can see what we're looking at in a hybrid view appearance. There we go. Amazing to think that there's something hiding there of that nature, huh? But yeah, that's true. That's what's there. All right. All right, so let's now... what do you want to see now, I wonder? I don't want to do the rosette. We did that already. We won't do Christmas tree. We did that already. Won't do these others. We did those already. I want to do something new and different. Oh, actually.
Want to try
Thor?
The dolphin's head?
I was thinking Thor's helmet, maybe. Because with the clarity we're getting tonight, it might be really pretty. Oh, you gotta spell it properly. Ready? Try that?
Sure.
It's right above Sirius. And there we go. Watch the telescope moving. You'll see that it's going to a star. Doing high precision slewing. It says so right here. And get out of there. Okay. And it's going to bring in Sirius, of course. A very bright star. Brightest star there is. People think that because the star is bright, it means it's the closest. It's not. It's just bright. The closest star is the Alpha Centauri system, and the closest star to us is a star you can't even see with your eye. How about that?
Yeah,
Proxima Centauri.
Sirius is pretty close.
Yeah, it's about 8 light years away. But it's not the closest.
DK, this will be my 47th year living in Colorado, and almost all my explorations have been south of Interstate 70, like about the southern 2/3 of the state.
Wow.
As Anahata said, as Bonnie said too, Western Slope is where it's at. I used to live on the western slope. I lived on both sides of the Continental Divide one time or another. Western slope has a lot of really cool stuff. Neat places. Has the San Juans and on the east side there's the Sangre de Cristos down southwest of here. But they're on the east side of the Continental Divide. Beautiful mountain ranges.
Okay, our focus looks good.
I used to live in Leadville, which is the highest mountains in the state. The Sawatch Range, that's the veritable spine of the Rockies right there. Darn it. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right, we'll do a 70-second exposure of this. Let's make sure I got that. I don't think I did. There we go. Okay. This will be Thor's helmet. and we'll check it out when it comes in. To those traveling in the next coming months, if there's any of you down near Arkansas, I'm going to be at the Ozark Mountain UFO Conference, April 8th through the 10th, and I'll be there speaking and talking to people as well. And then if you're in New York in June, on the 4th of June, there's the Pine Bush UFO Fair and Conference, and I'm speaking there as well. Wow. And then if you are going to be in New Mexico around in July, from the 1st and 2nd of July is the Roswell UFO Conference in Roswell, New Mexico. I'll be speaking there. And then, if you're interested again in the mainstay of UFOs and extraterrestrial life studies, then you might want to go to the MUFON Symposium, MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network. I'm their chief photo and video analyst, and that's from the 7th of July to the 10th of July. So I'm leaving here to go to Ozark, and then I'll be back after the MUFON Symposium. But in between, I'll come through and stuff. I won't be staying there the entire time. I'm going to be Ozark and back, Pine Bush and back. And then once I go to Roswell at the end of June, I'm not coming back till the 10th of July. So I don't know. Actually, I won't be coming back. Right after the 10th of July, I'm going to be going out to the observatory, because I've got an annoying problem on the sensor that I have to solve, which I'll be doing. And Genghis says, looks like a lot of oxygen 3, which is doubly ionized oxygen. And that's what this is. It's got a lot of doubly ionized oxygen. But let's take a look closer, shall we? Thor's helmet is the remains, well, not remains, but it's actually a star that is right here, this round guy right there. And this star is a Wolf-Rayet star. It's very, very hot, like 50,000 Kelvin. And it's expelled its outer layers. And this is a process that we don't really understand yet in astronomy. And it expelled its outer layers, and basically the star is not dead. The star is continuing, but it's doing so without its outer envelope of material. And eventually, they think that this star may go supernova. So it's really interesting how this is progressing. You know.
Mark, James asked, have we done the Ghost of Jupiter?
I think so, but
3242.
But it's pretty small. I thought.
I don't know if we've looked at that or not.
I don't know if it's up though.
Yeah, it's planetary, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Unless the planetaries are close, they actually are pretty small. You know, like we look at the cat's eye. It looks beautiful, but it's not really that much more impressive. You know, we're actually at 100% on the sensor. We've only stacked 4 images, so you can see that. I gotta try something. You know what? I can't. I see that the declination is just a little bit off in the guiding, and I don't like that. So I want to get perfect stars. So I'm gonna do this again. All right. So declination rate right now, I have it at 13. I want to set it to 15 and see what happens. Unfortunately, to do that means that I have to clear this. But don't worry. If it works, it'll be beautiful. I'm probably going to end up clearing this one too, unless the stars are perfectly round.
Goes to Jupiter. I looked it up. I don't remember if we looked at this or not. It's in Hydra. I'm sorry.
I have. I have looked at it personally.
Yeah.
In the telescope, but I haven't. I don't think I did it on a stream because it's not that impressive. Hmm. Hey, they're just the facts.
It's in Hydra. It is a planetary nebula. Its apparent dimensions are 25 arc minutes, so it's a little smaller than the moon.
Mm-hmm. Just the facts to answer your question, which is, can you detect changes or motion of nebulae over decades of observation? And the answer is yes, you can. And we see this most notably by looking at a nebula that's an expanding cloud of debris called the Crab Nebula. Over the last 100 years, the Crab Nebula has been expanding. It's a site of an ancient supernova that happened in 1054 AD. Let's see what the thing looks like now. Okay, star images are a little better. We're getting better. Yeah, that's good. Anyway, in 1054 AD, there was a new star in the sky reported by Chinese astronomers, and it was, seen in the daytime in the sky, and as such, it turned out to be a supernova of a star that blew itself to smithereens. And over time, we actually can and have seen this beautiful nebula, this remnant of the exploded star, expanding into space. And it was visible. It was seen over 10 decades, over 100 years. It's really, really beautiful.
We talked just last night. We looked at Hubble's Variable Nebula, and we mentioned you can see that nebula change in the course of just days.
Yeah, because
it's motion of like shadows playing across the nebula changes in a very short period of time.
Izabela's funny. LDN 1622, aka Guitar, aka Bigfoot, aka Pipe Wrench Nebula, and then she gives the link. That's funny, Izabela. She's smiling right now. I can tell she's smiling. I see it. Wow, this is pretty. This stack is coming out reasonably good, I should say. This nice details,
I see 5 arms.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey, just the facts. Thank you. You're right. That's okay. Okay. Oh, you guys are gonna hate me. I'm gonna take us up to another level here, and I'm gonna clear it again. Oh, don't hate me. Don't hate me. Alright, this guy here should be Thor's helmet. I haven't saved it yet. I guess I don't have that defined yet.
Well, I'd think you would.
Yeah, I don't.
Those aren't necessarily alphabetical?
No. They're not. Okay. Now let's see what happens here. This should look perfectly round stars. That's a partial. Wow. I mean, I got to admit that actually is really interesting looking. Really interesting looking, though. Look where the telescope's pointing. It's really pointing over into the west. If we look at our wonderful planetarium, you'll see that these lines would be up and down when we're looking straight south. Okay, these lines here, the blue lines, because that's the lines of the equatorial grid on the Earth. So if we back out of this, you can see kind of how we're leaning over toward the southwestern horizon. See that?
Yep.
So if we go toward the southern horizon, you see those blue lines end up vertical at this point because we're going across the basically like the map globe. You know, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, there's Alfred and Hydra right there.
Alfred, yeah. Well, where is the ghost of Jupiter then?
Couldn't tell you offhand.
Hydra's not a small constellation.
Oh, I know. It runs all the way south of Leo over to near Virgo.
Yeah. I wonder if this is it. Yep. That's it.
Yeah.
That's just a little bit east. And let's see how high in altitude. It's probably going to be over 40 anyway. Just about.
You want to try it?
You mean just one more D'Antonio here?
Yeah.
I guess we could. Let's come back to... Oh my, look at this. Wow. We've only stacked 3, and look how complex this looks. Isn't it crazy?
Only stacked 3?
Yeah, I kept deleting them because I wanted to get the declination guiding proper. Okay, let's get the color. All right, and let's do this. Let's do a little process. Let's really push this. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, I won't keep this, but in terms of the this particular stretch, but look at the detail here. Look at how this area has got more stuff out here than you realized. Look at it all the way out here.
Oh yeah.
All the way out here. Yeah. This is definitely a reason. Yeah, yes, we're going to do Ghost of Jupiter DK. Yes, I will. This is definitely an object that you don't want to be around. The radiation from this star will literally tear you asunder. It's amazing how hot and how intense the radiation is from these Wolf-Rayet stars.
Yeah. That star is hundreds of thousands, if not a million times brighter than the sun.
Yeah.
It's a very good supernova candidate, too.
It will be. Yep. It will be. Okay. I'm only going to go to 5 stack for this guy, and then I'm going to take us over to the Ghost of Jupiter.
Alright.
This is really pretty, though. Really pretty. I don't think the Ghost of Jupiter is going to be very impressive without focal length, but that's just me.
Yeah. see. Well, it's probably as bigger than Thor's helmet here is. Like I said, I looked it up earlier. They said it's 25 arc minutes across, so that's almost the size of the moon.
Okay.
I need to look up V838 Monocerotis again. I was looking at that earlier tonight when we talked about the light echoes and all.
Yeah.
When they first saw that, I guess it did something big, put out a ton of light back in 2002 is when all the light echoes started. And they said that was the brightest star in the entire galaxy for a time.
Wow.
I need to go read up on that.
All right. Okay, let me bring us back to our... All right, we'll fill the frame, and now let's do one more. Let's go to the Ghost of Jupiter. Shall we?
Sure.
Sure we will. Okay. It's not that far from where we are. Alright. Oh, there's right this here.
If I remember right, Alphard there is the heart of Hydra, the water snake. If you can find Leo and you look at Regulus, if you look just to the south of Regulus, the next bright star you see will be Alphard and Hydra.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to this star here, which is in Hydra as well, just barely. It's going to Nu Hydra. That's Nu as in the Greek letter Nu. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, iota, kappa, lambda, mu, Nu. Okay. Hey. No yawning, even though I did that so many times. I yawned. Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty small.
Yeah, I told you.
Yeah. Oh well, got that characteristic color to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
See the real green thing, folks?
Right here.
That's that planetary nebula color, 03.
However, what I'm going to do, just to be fair, is I looked at this before. You know, it's like the blue ball, the blue snowball. Same kind of thing. I'll go to 50% on this, center it up, and then we'll go and... we actually have to take a shorter exposure to see more detail of it. Okay? But we can stack a bunch of them, so let's try this. We're going to take a very small exposure. We're going to take an exposure. Let's try... actually, you know what? I'll do better than that. I'm going to reduce the gain. Okay, and that will allow us to see more detail in here. Let's go down to... There we go.
I guess that's Wikipedia for you.
Yeah.
They said 25 arc minutes. I wonder if that's more like 25 arc
seconds. Yeah. Why, yes it is. Okay, and now let's do the live stack here. Alright. There it is. Let's see if this is too much under the stack. Well, that's no good. What the heck is that? Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Kind of bad idea. Okay. Alright, so now let's zoom in more. This is for a DK. You know, DK, this is for you, man. Let's go to 100. All right, well, there we see. And now what we can do is we can dynamically slide. Let's take the white level. Let's do this first because it's all messed up. All right, take this over. Stretch it out a little bit. There we go. That's where I was aiming. Okay. What I want to show you with this is this central area. And to do this, we have to literally zoom in even more. We're going to go to like 125, 150 actually percent. And then you'll see it. Now you can see that there's some complexity going on in here.
Barely.
Yeah, barely, but it's there. Alright. Let's move this dark value out more. Okay, let's do the color rendering. Fix the color. Subtle, but there. Yeah, you can see that there's like a central bar in this thing and then an outer shell. But I think also that we're also subject to some increasing wind right now. But hey, you know what? DK, this is for you. You know, you asked for it. You got it, Toyota.
James Dugan asked for it, didn't he?
Oh, was it James? I thought DK asked for it. Oh, DK, okay. Alright, James, you only saw it visually at F10. Okay. This is F2, obviously. So we're not going to be able to see it with the resolution that your F10 would show it. We're working on getting a higher F ratio system out there in the same building. And the idea would be that you would see one or the other screen and we could just flip between the two. So you would actually see the F10 instrument or the F8 instrument versus the F2 instrument. And that's kind of what we're aiming for. Maybe a split screen where you could see one on one and one on the other. I can do all that with the broadcast software. So actually you can zoom in and zoom in on one and zoom out and see them both. Zoom in, zoom out. That's the ultimate goal. Yeah, I got you. Oh, yes, you're right. Okay. All right. Well.
Yeah.
That was a good last object.
The Google box does say 25 arc seconds, not minutes.
Yeah.
It's 4,800 light years away too.
Yeah.
That's why it's so small.
Yeah.
But hey, we saw it.
We did. Okay. Well, guys, it's been a lot of fun. We've had some fun times tonight. I'm really pleased that you guys came out to check us out. You're always welcome here. This is your home for live deep sky observation. Skytour live stream west and east. East is still underway. We have to get the other building finished. And now that we're coming out of COVID and we've got a lot of interesting capabilities and possibilities, we're going to start putting up that building here. All right. So.
Well, thanks for having me on, Marc.
Absolutely. Uh-oh. I messed that up. There we go. Ah, wonderful, guys. All right. We will see you guys on the other side of this, and we'll be back for the next clear night. And we're going to look for some other objects to check out, too. That's a promise. Thanks, DK. That's kind of you. Alright, guys. We will see you on the other side. So you guys have a good night, and we're out of here. Say goodnight, Daryl.
Good night, Daryl.
There you go.